Dziękuję.
Halo, halo?
Dobra.
Halo, halo, słychać mnie? Siema ludzie! Siemanko! Siema, siema! Siema! Dziękuję. Dzięki serdecznie za takie przywitanie. Witam cały chaos. Dziękuję, witam was wszystkich. Siema chaos. No co, Galactic Battle, część druga i... Czy spodziewane spotkanie? Okej, dobra. Czyli jednak są podzielone zdania. Dobra, rozumiem. Bugmacherka później. Z tym sobie poradzimy. Dobra, słuchajcie, żeby nie przedłużać, żeby nie zabierać też czasu graczom, chciałbym powitać obrońcę tytułu pierwszej części Chaos Galactic Battle, Mikołaj Elazer Ogonowski. Powodzonka. Dziękujemy. No i co? I drugi zawodnik, który staje z Elazerem po raz drugi. Druga część Chaos Galactic Battle. Po raz drugi się spotykają. Zobaczymy, jaki wynik teraz się nam okaże. Tak jest, wynik Basta, dokładnie. Krystianer, Krystian Szczęsny, zapraszam. No to co panowie, good luck, have fun. Wam również życzę miłego oglądania. I do później. Nara. Chaos, zróbcie chaos!
Dziękujemy bardzo. Jezu, co za seksiak na tej...
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the House Galactic Battle number 2, powered by ENDORFY. We have finally made it. We're here in the grand finals. It's been a long event so far here tonight. It's been a grueling tournament. We have the group stage, we have the playoffs. It's been 11 hours, and we are here to crown our champion.
Indeed we are. And as Danskik was just saying in the introduction, they are meeting each other again because this is a rematch of previous Galactic Battle from January.
Exactly. This is the second edition of this tournament in this year. We had the first one back in January, and back in January we had Elazer and Krystianer also in the finals, also with Elazer coming up from the lower bracket and Krystianer coming in from the upper bracket. So history repeats itself once again.
Yeah, and we will see if the score will repeat itself as well. I don't remember if it was best of 7 last time actually, or if it was best of 5, but we have a full best of 7 ahead of us.
Oh yeah, it was a best of 7 previously. It was a 4-2 score in favor of Elazer in the previous Galactic Battle, and we'll see if Krystianer can pose a greater threat here for Elazer, maybe get his revenge for the last finals that they did have. And again, even in the last event, Spirit was there as well. Spirit did not make it into this finals, wasn't here this week or this time, but I'm sure it would have he would not have been able to stop the destiny, the fated kind of rematch of Krystianer and Elazer, as we are remaking because Krystianer's Terran. God damn it.
Everything is fine. Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
Everything is fine. Nobody panic.
God damn it.
It's okay.
It's all good. It's all good. We're diving into this. And again, shout out to all the people behind the scenes. Shout out to Kashim. Shout out to Danskik. Shout out to the photographer, the venue itself. Shout out to House. Shout out to Indy and Zed for casting in Polish. Again, we got to see a glimpse of the crowd. We saw the host. We saw the players coming in, the player shots as well. Again, this is a big event happening over in a gaming bar in Warsaw. It's great to just have this kind of event going on and the celebration of StarCraft.
Yeah, Krystianer is saying that he left because he had Terran picked, and Kashim is like, no, it was supposed to be like that.
Kappa. But here we go. We're diving into game number 1. A bit of an abrupt start, but here we go. This time, Krystianer is Protoss. This time, Elazer is Zerg. Game 1 is going to be on Oceanborn. Let's go.
Let us go. Yes, both our players are ready, warmed up, pumped up by the crowd, and
Oh yeah,
we'll see how they go this time.
we'll see how they will go. If you are in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you believe is going to be the House Galactic Battle number 2 champion. Will it be the Protoss or will it be the Zerg? Best of luck in the chat. It is up to you to decide who will be the victor. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Polish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
And across the map we have his opponent, representing Starlight Twinkle and Poland, of course. One of the rising stars of Polish scene. It is Krystianer.
Here we go. The finals are upon us. As a reminder as well, which I'm sure is reflected on the screen right now, Krystianer is coming in from the upper bracket, which means he has a 1-point lead.
Have we actually confirmed that? Because I don't find that on the bracket on Wikipedia.
Oh, maybe not. Does he not have a 1-point lead? Is that not the case?
Kashim, I see you in the chat. Kashim, please. I have not found that rule. Maybe it's there, maybe it's
Kashim, does he have a lead or not? We don't. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe.
not. Look.
Does Krystianer start 1-0?
I'm gonna actually
he'll let us
unstab and see on Wikipedia if he has a lead. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. It's 0-0.
He does not have a lead on Wikipedia, so... Oh, there we go. Okay, my apologies. Krystianer does not start with the lead. It's going to be 0-0 to kick things off.
There you go. It's a full best of 7.
That's a brutal format, by the way, Kashim. What's going You're an animal, Poppy. You're an animal. Oh, my God. So it looks like it's going to be just a fresh best of 7. My apologies, sir. Just straight up flat 0-0 scoreline here for Krystianer and Elazer. No holds bar in these grand finals.
Yeah, we will have a full best of 7. I mean, seeing how these players play, I feel like we may have a full best of 7 because their previous matches have been pretty close.
Game paused.
They have been very close indeed, and we will soon sink our teeth into it. So far, we've had some standard openers with a hatch gas pool up against a gate expand into Cybercore, so nothing too out of the norm yet. Does look like we have some technical issues, but it's best if we get through these technical issues at the start of the game before we really get going, as opposed to in the middle of a fight or in the middle of the mid-game.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to sort out all of these issues, like, ahead of time. Like, right now, there's nothing too micro-intensive happening, so, we should be able to sort out whatever the problem is and, keep going with our series.
Yeah, should be okay, should be all good. We just have some kinks to work out before we sink our teeth into those grand finals. And again, this will be the final series of the night, the final series of the tournament. Again, I would say that Elazer's coming in as the favored player, but again, Krystianer has beaten him before. He could do it again.
He definitely could. Let's see if he can. As for now, it doesn't look like either player wants to be too cheeky. Like, we're having a bit of a standard start of the game.
And nothing too wild here. We do have our initial Lings going to be zoning away this probe, going to be forcing it back. We can see Krystianer being as annoying as possible. Could even throw down a pylon as well. Drone comes in. Oh, the pylon block is going to be thrown down, but that is a kill on the probe. And it looks like the pylon was a little bit misplaced, did not disrupt the expansion.
Yeah, it looks like the Zerglings pushed the probe away enough that, you know, Krystianer wasn't quite able to get that block down. But I mean, he lost the probe as well, so like, you know, not the ideal start, but at least he did delay that third base for a little bit.
Yeah, he delayed it for a little. It's okay. It's an okay amount.
I mean,
of
it's
damage,
not the end.
but, not the best. Yeah, it's not the best start for Krystianer. But from here, we're going to be following this up with Adept Harass. We have our first, soon-to-be second Adept walking out across the map right over those logos. That's a lot of logos. Oh, I see Danskik. He's there.
Yeah. He's one of the sponsors and organizers, as well as, I'm not gonna read that name, as well as Twin number 1. That's what the last one
Is that Twin number 2?
I think there is. They are actually
No, but
twins.
it's Twin. No, yeah, but is Twin number 2 in the middle, or is that someone else?
No,
Do you know who that
I don't
is?
think so. Anyway, no, I don't think I recognize that name.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the twins go by Twin number 1 and Twin number 2.
That's beautiful.
I know, right?
You know who's who. It's good.
Yeah.
Just walk around with numbers on their shirts.
On the forehead.
As we are settling in, the Adept Harass so far hasn't done too much, as Krystianer does race back home with those Adepts, splits them up here between his natural and his main, will get his third base up and running, and Oracle aggression has begun. We have our first, soon-to-be second Oracle moving out to get some drone damage.
Yeah, and the Oracles are now moving into the base. They do find the Zerglings, but there are also a lot of Queens, because Elazer does like those. But no Spore!
Yeah, no Spore. 3 drones go down in that drive-by. Not bad here, as Krystianer doesn't really lose too much HP on these Oracles, so not a bad start at the third base. And behind this is getting his third up and running and working on that further tech.
Yeah, we already have the Twilight Council. We have the Forge on the way as well, so I guess Zealots?
We'll see. I mean, this looks like +1 in Blink Stalkers, but if you
Okay,
remember,
sure.
every time we said that, Krystianer would delay his upgrade and go into Archons, right? He'd go into
True.
class Archons, into Immortals, into something very different. As the pilot goes down, ooh, the Zealots barely warp it in time.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Krystianer. I mean, it's not a huge damage, but still annoying nonetheless. But at the same time, we have Adepts in the base of Elazer, and 5 drones are already going down, and the Adepts are still there.
Yeah, very nice position for these Adepts. 5, 6 workers going to be going down. We shade into the main base. 1 Adept to survive, and we do continue that worker damage. Sure, Elazer did take down a pylon across the map, did take down a couple of workers, but Krystianer, he comes out on top in this harassment.
Yeah, 8 drones falling down to the Adept harassment in the end, and that's a really nice start for Krystianer there. And the Oracles are still alive, and they definitely will be looking for another occasion to attack.
Oh, that they are. Meanwhile, in the main base, we spoke about it. There it is. Immortal production from the Robo, and the Twilight Council was for Charge and the Templar Archive. So Charge Lot Archon is going to be the composition of choice from Krystianer. It is a unit composition that he's been using all day today to great effect. It is how he shut down Elazer earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that is like the style of choice for Krystianer, like this like really really bulky composition, you know, with a lot of Immortal, a lot of Zealot, like this really heavy units, to put it that way. I mean, calling Zealots heavy is kind of weird, but I mean, it's kind of what they are.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like a brute force army where you kind
Yeah.
of force your way through across the map. You know, this death pool of an army that we build up. There's not as much finesse as like Blink Stalkers, for example, right? But it's still a terrifying army, a terrifying force, and something to be respected. Now, Elazer, how does he respond to this? So far, he has yet to scout the main base, but we are working into a very fast Spire.
I mean, Spire is an interesting choice, as neither Zealots nor Immortals shoot up. However, if Storm becomes a thing, this may get tricky.
Well, not just Storm, Archons as well. If you
True,
remember,
Archons.
I'm getting... Yeah, this is a little bit of a flashback to the previous series. We had a very similar dynamic where, I think it was game 1 between Elazer and Krystianer, where Elazer was also going Ling Muta, and as he went into Mutas, the Archon push occurred. And
Yeah.
Krystianer just died then and there. He could not stop the wave of Zealot Archon that pushed on out. It was a very brutal timing that Krystianer went for, just as the Mutas are popping out, and it looks like we're doing something very similar, as Krystianer is getting ready to push out, and Mutas are on the way.
Yeah, and those Archons are already being set up. We have 2 for now, and more are still warping in. And Krystianer decides this is time to go. He will try to see what he can get done on the other side of the map.
Yeah, this time the big difference is Banelings. The last time it was only Ling Queen Muta. This time Banelings are amassing. Banelings are now spotted by the hallucination. Krystianer is fully aware, and the Mutas are going for a big backstab. They're going for a counterattack to hit that mineral line. We'll see if Krystianer can break through that line of Ling Bane as Mutas do get into the third.
I mean, there are shield batteries, there are cannons as well, so that will be able to fend off Mutas for a while, but the reinforcements are in danger.
Yeah, Krystianer actually decides to turn around. He turns around, he comes back home, he's opting to defend. I do like this. Basically, as soon as Krystianer saw the Ling Bane, he's like, nah, it's not gonna work. Like, as in, he cannot break Elazer, not anymore, and Krystianer instead deflects the Mutas, and the Mutas haven't done too much. They've only gotten 4 probe kills so far.
I mean, a decent part of his army would be Zealots, right? So, like, they will definitely not do very well against Banelings, but yeah, it looks like he just decides to be defensive instead, and we're going for another Stargate.
Yeah, second Stargate, Phoenix production has commenced. It is the correct choice to go into Phoenixes against these Mutas. And so far the defense has been good, but we're not done yet. The Muta count is getting higher and higher. Elazer, he has decided, he has made his choice. It's mass Muta.
Okay, that's how we're playing this game this time. I mean, again, we have Archons, but we don't have a lot of Archons right now, and they're not able to, like, travel through the bases very fast, so here we have 2, so we are safe, but, like, if at any point in time they're out of position, like, it makes it very tricky to defend.
Yeah, we have a cannon and a shield battery in the main base, but as you mentioned, the main base is actually quite fragile. Storm is being chronoed as we speak, so we're rushing into Storm. We're pumping out as many Phoenixes as possible. Honestly, Krystianer is doing quite well keeping up, and the Mutas have not paid for themselves yet. Like, they haven't really done too much damage, and in a head-on fight, they're not ideal either. But that is a lot of Banelings morphing in. We had a lot of Banelings to begin with, and even more, 18 more on the way.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Elazer will try to distract Krystianer with those Mutas, and as soon as the army moves out, he will try to roll these Banelings in, but for now we have Mutas versus Phoenixes here.
Yeah, one Phoenix goes down, trading a Phoenix for a Muta. At the same time, Bailey's rolling in on the left-hand side, but the stasis traps are going to be triggered. So far, we do hold on. So far, Elazer doesn't get much damage done, but he did trigger those stasis.
Yeah, but still really nice defense there for Krystianer. He has to make sure that he takes care of these Banelings, though, before they unfreeze themselves, but still, he did defend this attack pretty nicely.
Yeah, the Archons are in position. The Phoenixes are being a little bit adventurous. They have to be very careful as the Elazer is looking to attack on top of them. Ooh.
Yeah, another one of the Phoenixes goes down, but so do some of the Mutas, but yeah, these Phoenixes are definitely a bit more costly.
Yeah, exactly. We have to be very careful here not to be caught out by those Mutas. Phoenixes can outrange Mutas, that is true, but Mutas can also just bunch up and dive on top of them and focus them down, so we have to be very careful with how we do approach this. You can see that Krystianer is pushing out at the same time. Mutas trying to catch reinforcements and even coming from behind.
The High Templars! The High Templars go down to the Mutas. They reinforce the High Templars. Banelings try to surround the army, but there are Archons there.
Oh, nice positioning with the Archons and Banelings. They get completely shut down, and we're going for the kill. We're going for the throat. Mutas cannot engage. They're going to try to come in from behind, but again, that's a lot of Archons.
That's a lot of Archons. That's a lot of Phoenixes as well. Like, now we have a lot of army that actually does deal with Mutas pretty nicely. Has to be careful about these pickups, because the Warfreeze may get sniped, but it looks pretty good for Krystianer.
It does, but 23 Banelings just morphed in when we need some connections. Ling Bane is rolling on forward. Massive stasis on the Lings. Banelings crash in. They will connect with the Zealots. But what about the Mutas? Again, they can still add nothing to the fight. The Archons are still standing strong.
Yeah, and actually it is just enough. Krystianer will take game number 1, defeating Elazer.
GG, well played. Very patient play out of Krystianer. Honestly, I'm really impressed. Just because Krystianer, he's a bit of a younger player. He's a little more aggressive as well. And for Krystianer to have the maturity to move out initially, scout with the hallucination, see all the Ling Bane, and make the decision to back off. Make the decision to pull back to his 3-base setup, to get into Storm, into Phoenixes, and go for a bit of a later timing instead, recognizing that, again, the Ling Bane would be enough to defend against the first push.
Yeah, I feel like most players have been there where, like, you know, you think you have enough to fight, and then you run into, like, a big army that you just didn't think would take you down. Like definitely that is something that, like, marks a good player, where they're able to judge those fights and not just, you know, run straight on.
Yeah. Yeah, and judged correctly, right? He backed off. He waited for, again, his follow-up push, and the positioning was the most important thing there. Yes, we did see Elazer pick off a couple of High Templar in the beginning. That was a big moment for Elazer, but we saw so many Banelings crash into Archons, right? We had a solid wall of Archons at that ramp. They held the line. Not a single Archon went down, and Banelings were wasted initially, and without Banelings, we could not collapse on that army. Krystianer just snowballed out of control.
Yeah, and even in the final moments of this game, as we had like this another like huge reinforcements of Link Bane, that single stasis actually worked as a
Yeah.
force field. It actually stopped
Yeah.
the entire army of Elazer behind it.
That was a very crucial force field. Sorry, very crucial stasis trap there, which did act like a force field. It caught all the lings. It created all these choke points, made it difficult for the Banelings to really connect with the Zealots. They did shut down a lot of the Zealots, but what about everything else? What are the Archons, the
Yeah.
Immortals, the High Templar? They were still holding on. Again, a very impressive push there by Krystianer, and he does take a lead.
Yeah, that was a really strong game number 1 from Krystianer, and that's looking pretty good for the future of this series for the Protoss.
Oh yeah, that was a strong start, but at the same time, it was also a very unique dynamic where we had Mutas as the tech of choice, which doesn't happen every game, right? Like maybe I think we're gonna see Mutas maybe one more time in the series. It's a best of 7. It's much more standard to go into Ling Bane, Roach Ravager, for example, or into Hydra Lurker. Mutas are a really risky tech choice, and we saw here that if Mutas don't get damage done early on, they just not ideal in a head-on fight. They're very fragile units.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, generally, if you go for Mutas, it's more for harassment. Like, you have your main army, and then Mutas are kind of on the back, you know, trying to get probes and stuff. But, I mean, Krystianer was prepared even for that. Like, he had a cannon at every base, he had shield batteries, so he just didn't let the laser surprise him.
Yeah, he just completely shut him down. I do think that's also a strength of the fact that they already faced off against each other. We mentioned
Sure.
it before that Elazer did rush Mutas the last time they played, right? Earlier in this tournament, the last time they played, Elazer also rushed Mutas. So I'm sure Krystianer had that in the back of his mind and knew exactly how to deal with it and how to counter it.
And I guess... So now the thing is, we have to see like if Elazer can come up with something else. I say that because we said that before, like we have seen a lot of PvZs, I mean ZvPs from Elazer today. So he has to bring something new if he wants to take Krystianer down.
We'll see if he can. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the blue Polish Protoss player. He is leading the series 1-0, but it's a best of 7. It's a best of 7. Plenty more games ahead of us. I expect a back and forth. Can he extend his lead? Representing Starlight Twinkle, it is Krystianer.
And across the map, we have our red Zerg player representing Team Liquid. Our only Zerg left in most of the bracket actually. He's been fighting Protoss for a while now. It is Elazer.
Here we go. Yeah, Elazer has been going through the gauntlet of Protoss. He took down Bappy, he took down Geralt, but now the rematch against Krystianer. And what I will say, thankfully for Elazer, is that he's a very experienced player. Even though he has taken a loss in Game 1, even though he went down earlier in this tournament, I'm sure Elazer is raring to go and ready for a comeback, ready to bounce back in the series.
Yeah, that is the thing, like, not only Elazer has been here for a while as a player, but he has been at like this like top level for a while as well. Like, I still remember it's been several years ago. This was before like Serral even became a thing, and like Elazer was already taking like down Dark and players like that. Like the whole like Serral thing happened later. So Elazer has been at this level for a while.
Yeah, Elazer has always been at the top of the European scene, of the European region, even just Europe, but also just in general out there in StarCraft. So it's great to see Elazer being able to maintain that. And as you mentioned, because of that, I'm sure he is unfazed in this situation and he's ready for his revenge. Bearing in mind that Elazer, the last time they faced off in the finals of the H.4.0.S Galactic Battle, Elazer did win. He did win the best of 7, so I'm sure he's still feeling confident coming into this.
I mean, I would say so. I mean, it probably also helps, I feel like, the atmosphere of like this kind of like LAN where like, it's generally like among people you know very well, so it probably adds a lot to the confidence as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a much more comfortable environment here, being amongst your local community and your local region and scene. So I'm sure that also helps with the nerves or any kind of pressure. As we do have a bit of a delayed expansion. Once again, Elazer is looking to try and take the center base, and Krystianer will delay it.
Yeah, Krystianer was well aware that that is something that Zergs do like to do on this map, and he will stop it. Elazer is forced to take this third on the other side.
There we go, forcing the triangular third instead. That's going to be a big moment. We spoke about this previously in today's broadcast about how this center base can be used to go for an all-in because you can prioritize the gas, the rich vesting gas geyser, spread creep very quickly across the map, but Elazer is denied the availability of that all-in.
Yeah, and even after, like, Krystianer is still staying there with the adepts, like, he's making sure that Elazer doesn't try to do it again. Because, as we know, Elazer loves expanding everywhere, so he may still try.
Yeah, Elazer can be quite greedy here, so we'll see if he's going to try and go and rush into a faster fourth or anything like that. But now Adepts shade into the main, boys are being pulled and drones are going down.
Yeah, 2 of them are already dead, but the Zerglings are chasing those adepts, and it looks like it will be just lost mining time for the time being.
Yeah, 2 Adepts for 2 drones. That is a better trade for Elazer, the Zerg player, so thankfully he does stop this before it gets out of hand and too out of control. So very nice defense from Elazer. Meanwhile, Lings are moving out across the map. The problem here, we spoke about this before, this third base is very secure. Third base is insanely secure, and these Lings cannot threaten it whatsoever.
Yeah, there's an adept in the wall to watch out for them as well. Now that said, the Oracle was also fended off, so Elazer is... like, both of our players are keeping their bases quite safe.
Yeah, exactly. Krystianer, he gets a more free third. Meanwhile, Elazer keeping up with the Oracle, able to fend it off. But we're not done. Out comes a second Oracle, and Krystianer has been doing this time and time again. He keeps skipping the third Oracle here in favor of the faster Twilight Council and Forge. And I imagine, again, we're going to be seeing Archons and Charge Lights.
I mean, yeah, definitely can see that happening, as that seems to be his composition of choice, but all these Oracles are getting really low. There's a lot of Queens here. As usual, Elazer really likes playing Queen-heavy styles, and they won't be able to get any damage done, it looks like.
Yeah, they get 1 drone in the third, but only 1 worker. So again, these Oracles have yet to pay for themselves. We expect more damage to be dealt, but Krystianer has been having a very hard time. Meanwhile, across the map, there it is. +1 attackers on the way. Robo's on the way. That's going to be for immortal production. And you can see that there is no upgrade yet on this Twilight Council. It's because I imagine we're going for charge and for that Temple Archives.
Yeah, we definitely can see that happening at the same time. We have this Adept once again running into the bases of Elazer. Krystianer trying to find some damage in the third, but he's blocked by the Queens.
Yeah, but despite that, 5 drones going to be going down. Pretty good damage so far. The Adepts, they do wedge themselves behind the mineral line. 1 more Adept is going to be chased back, where we shade into the natural and where we can get even more damage done.
Yeah, 6 drones already falling. The Adepts are still there. 8 drones. I think the Oracles have also dove in at the same time, and in the end, 9 drones total are falling down, which is definitely a nice little bit of damage.
Yeah, 9 workers falling. We still have that 1 Oracle being active outside the bases. Pretty good damage here from Krystianer. This is damage that we were hoping for, that we were expecting. And back at home, there is that immortal production, gateway explosion as well. We don't have a Templar Archives yet, so I'm definitely curious as to that, as to where Krystianer is going to take this. Meanwhile, Elazer is taking up into an infestation. Oh my god.
Oh, this Oracle was very close to going down, but it does survive. It will be useful later in the game, but yeah, it doesn't look like Krystianer is progressing in his tech at all. Like, he's just focusing on the Immortals.
Yeah, I'm really curious because Krystianer has a lot of gas. You can see there he's got 700 gas in the bank, so he's a little bit inefficient. And now we have, there we go, now we have our tech. It's a little bit late, but we have a second robot and a Temple Archives. I'll be honest, I don't think that was intentional. I think maybe Krystianer was just hyper-fixated on harassing across the map, so may have slipped his mind a little bit as his tech is going to be a little bit delayed.
Yeah, definitely possible. I mean, he was focusing on that attack, and he did get some damage down there, but yeah, looks like maybe the build suffered a little bit on that. But at the same time, Elazer is already getting to lurkers.
Yeah, this is the problem here, is that Elazer hasn't slowed down his tech. We have the Infestation bit on the way, Hive is on the way, for the Lurker upgrades, we're joining up to 80 already as well. And this is something that you have to be careful with when you're up against Elazer. Your build needs to be crisp, your pushes need to be on point, you cannot mess up, you cannot give Elazer breathing room, otherwise he's just going to run away with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, Elazer is definitely the swarm kind of Zerg. Like, if you give him any space, he will definitely like just use it. He will expand to another base, he will build another army, like he will not waste that opportunity.
Exactly, as Elazer has cut roaches and just gone straight Ling Hydra into lurkers. Very greedy style here out of Elazer. If Krystianer had pushed that earlier, if he had gone for an earlier Temple Archives into an earlier Archon push, then he could have punished this. Alas, no longer can he punish it. Lurker production is already underway. That window, it feels like we have missed it a little bit. As I say that, Storm is going to be a big factor coming into this, as Storm does well against Lings and Hydras.
That it does, but ooh, as the Oracles finally goes down, but I mean, even with Storm, like I feel like the army of Krystianer is just not that big on its own. Like I'm not sure how much support those High Templars will have.
Yeah, we'll see, as we have been skipping some warp-ins. Meanwhile, Zella drop into the main base does apply some pressure, but no big damage. It looks like Elazer is going to be able to keep up. He does maintain his defensive position here in his main and his natural, and the Prism doesn't get much done. But it does at least keep Elazer busy, and Krystianer is getting ready for his eventual move out.
Yeah, he's stepping onto the creep right now, getting Karak in his army.
Yeah, getting one and getting two queens, not bad. We're still lacking some detection, but there we go. The Observer has arrived, and we are going to be clearing up as much creep as we can.
Ooh,
but we cannot push up this ramp.
Yeah, this ramp is set up full of lurkers, and I don't think Krystianer wants to walk up this. At the same time, once again, Elazer expanding everywhere, but while also defending from the Zealot round by.
Yeah, he's double expanding on the left-hand side. At the same time, we're pushing in right towards that third base, but lurkers are in position. Elazer is going to be able to keep up with the movement of Krystianer. He's going to be committing, though.
I'm not sure if he should. There's still a lot of lurker fight. I mean, the Storm is definitely nice, but it doesn't even kill the lurkers, and his army is suffering.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was good movement, and we clear up a lot of creep, but Elazer is holding. Elazer is still maxed out, has plenty of lurkers up and running, 13 lurkers in total, and Krystianer cannot push up this ramp. The lurkers, they're waiting for him.
Yeah, Elazer is very diligent at repositioning all those lurkers, and neither of the entrances to the bases are open for Krystianer. And yeah, I mean, he has a lot of immortals, which is nice, but in the face of lurkers, they're not that amazing.
Yeah, you can argue that this tech switch is a little bit delayed. We're working towards Sky Toss. Two
Yeah.
more Stargates, a fleet beacons on the way. Krystianer has recognized that we've hit critical mass of lurkers, and we just cannot contest against this army, so we're going to be ignoring it. We do knock down these rocks, and we're going for some of these fringe bases. Meanwhile, at the same time, lurkers do push down the ramp. They're exposed.
Oh, nice storms there from Krystianer. A lot of the lurkers unfurled being covered by it, but a lot of them survive, and they're even being transfused later.
Yeah, Krystianer kind of baiting the army out into the open. A very nice couple of moments here for Krystianer. At the same time, Elazer is ready with his own Ling Hydra, making sure he's in position to protect these fringe bases. The Sag defense is on the way. Nida swarms as well to be able to bounce between both sides of the map to defend. At the same time, though, Krystianer is still working on those carriers.
Yeah, Elazer is moving forward, trying to catch the army of Krystianer off guard, but the lurkers are still being blanketed with storms.
Yeah, meanwhile, Nida swarms is finished. We can see Lurker is rotating over towards the right-hand side, looking to threaten some of these bases. Krystianer not quite aware of that yet, still threatening that center base, and here come those Lurkers, even with another Nidus to back up.
Yeah, I think this is just an escape Nidus, like Elazer is just using that as communication. The same time the Protoss army though is pushing, and not all lurkers are on the ramp.
Yeah, and on the left-hand side, there are no Lurkers whatsoever. The Lurkers, they try to dive on the army. Big storms are going to be thrown down, and can we clean up the Lurkers? Looks like most of them will fall. That is a lot of Immortals.
That is a lot of Immortals, and we have an Observer, so there is detection there as well, so the Immortals can just march forward. At the same time though, ooh, actually we have a recall to the base.
Yeah, we recall over to defend, and we do manage to catch one Lurker, but the Nidus Swarm will be able to evacuate. At the same time, Lurkers, they dive into the main!
Yeah, the main base, the same thing that ended one of our previous games, and at the same time Immortals are getting caught by the Zerglings. This is really not looking good for Krystianer.
Yeah, as you mentioned, deja vu here with the series against Geralt, as Krystianer is being pulled apart. The Lurkers in the main base, but carriers have arrived, and Lurkers, they don't shoot up. Oh, but we need detection.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Lurkers don't shoot up,
Yeah.
but the carriers are so not. Oh, now they're shooting.
There we go. Observers have arrived. We're going to be able to clean this up. 15 workers do go down. But this is the one thing that Geralt did not have, right? Krystianer is working on Skytel, so that is a good way to catch back up and to bounce back. As I say that, we're still applying a lot of pressure to the center base of Krystianer.
I mean, as you said, it's a good way to do it, but like he still needs the time to transition. Like he still has this only this ground army to defend, as the carriers aren't only now arriving to the base, but the lurkers are starting to fall.
Yeah, the Observers late, no detection. The Immortals get completely reset. Massive losses here for Krystianer. At the same time, Lurker's still in the main base. We push towards the right-hand side, getting 35 worker kills, and Krystianer's being pulled apart. GG gets called. Elazer fights back, putting a point on the board.
Indeed. As we said, I mean, we expected this to be a close series, and it looks like it definitely will be one.
GG, well played. A very intense game there by Krystianer and Elazer. Initially, Krystianer, he was able to settle into a decent army, but it did feel like he missed a bit of a window he was going for, and Elazer got away with so much greed, and he was able to freely max out and really flex his army. He was just all over the map.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, Elazer was just taking battle after battle. He was just spreading the army of Krystianer like really thin, and the Immortals just weren't cut in the end. Like with how many lurkers were on the map, they were just not enough.
Yeah, a big part of that was the Nidusworms, right? If the Nidusworms were denied, if we were able to keep up with the Overseers and with those Nidusworms, then maybe it's a different game, and Krystianer's able to settle into a 4-base economy with carriers. It would have been a very different dynamic, but the Nidusworms did finish. They got up and running, and it forced Krystianer to, as you mentioned, spread himself very, very thin. He just could not keep up with the multi-pronged harassment there, with the pushes.
Yes, indeed. And with that, we are now in tied series. We are at 1-1, and we will be loading to side Delta.
Here we go, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of side Delta, we have our Red Zerg player representing Team Liquid, tying up the series 1-1. Fighting back and looking to take a lead, it is Elazer.
And across the map is his opponent. It is the blue Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. Also tied 1-1 currently. It is Krystianer.
Krystianer unable to extend that lead, but of course, we're looking to bounce back. We're going to bounce back in this series.
Indeed we are, and what our players are planning this game? I mean, nothing cheeky. We're not having any sort of weird shenanigans going on, at least not yet.
Yeah, we're loading into Site Delta, one of the more standard maps in the map pool, so we don't expect to see anything too crazy here. As you mentioned before, like, Krystianer has a certain preference in PvZ, and it does seem to be that Archon Immortal style, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of that. We'll try to point out if we ever deviate from that, but it does seem to be, like, what he prefers.
Yeah, definitely. I do, like... Well, Krystianer is aggressive. He's not like the cheesy kind of aggressive, at least not most of the time. Like, it's more like this, like, very dedicated pushes.
Yeah, exactly. It's about building up those Archons, those Immortals, those Storms as well, and just hyper-fixating on the control of his army and making sure he takes the best fight possible. But that can be difficult, especially if your opponent is able to get into lurkers. Like, that was the big thing about that last game, is that Krystianer missed his window. We spoke about how his tech was delayed, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't intentional because he was banking so many resources while he was harassing. So because of that, that means that Elazer had a lot more breathing room in that last game.
Yeah, he definitely did. And again, Elazer, if you give him the room, he uses every opportunity. Especially if you give him the map. Like, Elazer loves just commanding the whole map.
Oh yeah. He really does, and we'll see if he can do that once again. We do see another Stargate open out of Krystianer, so again, we're not really deviating too much. If we spawn into a smaller map, like a Ghost River, for example, or a Post-Youth, then maybe we could see a Twilight Council opener, but for now, just a Stargate.
It's a Stargate, as Elazer is getting to 3 bases as well. no spores quite yet, but they will be there soon enough, I believe. I mean, we'll see. Elazer sometimes skips on the spores, but considering that Krystianer opens oracles every time, I assume he will be quite ready to defend that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will. As again, it's gonna just be a bit of a test of micro and a test of control, whether Krystianer can get some drone damage or Elazer can prevent it. I mean, so far Krystianer's done a really good job at getting damage done, whether it's with oracles, whether it's with his adepts. He does find some really nice positioning, and even against a player like Elazer, he's able to get some damage done.
Yeah. And we'll see if he is able to do so once again, as the first of the oracles is about to be ready, the adepts. I think there's only one adept on the map at the moment, so I don't think that will be harassment, the harassment force for now. Oh, there are two, okay. But they're both defensive for the time being.
Yeah, they're both in the wall at the natural and here at the wall at the third base, so they're just chilling back at home. First Oracle moves out, gets eyes on the third base, will be able to threaten the mineral line a little bit, but Queens are in position and the Oracle won't get much done. Really, the power of the Oracle harass comes in with the second Oracle.
Yeah, the double oracle is definitely the way to go here. Well, actually, Elazer very intense about chasing this single oracle down. The queens are moving base by base, and yeah, I don't think Krystianer can get in here.
Yeah, so far so good for Elazer. You can see he's massing quite an amount of lings. We have 14 lings in production. The goal of this is to shut down the third. Can we shut this down? If the oracles are across the map, that means that they won't be defending back at home. That means that this third base is going to be vulnerable to be cancelled.
Oh, but there are no
queens.
queens at the natural. All of them moved to the third base, and now the oracles can focus some of the drones, but actually they're not able to get much.
Yeah, a bit of a misclick there. We clicked on the queen, not the drone, so only one drone goes down. We have deflected this army. There was an opportunity, but Krystianer did miss it. As Lings, they do rush across the map. We get a surround!
Yeah.
One adept does get caught, and so does the second.
The second one does get surrounded as well. There are some more warpings getting ready, but the adepts are falling down.
Yeah, the adepts are falling one after the other. Oracles did make it back home, but only one adept did survive. This also means that the usual follow-up 5 adept aggression is not here anymore. The adept count was reset. That means that Elazer is safe to drone.
Oh, and drone he will, as he is taking a 4th base already.
Yeah, he's taking that 4th base. Back at home, we throw down a Robo here for Krystianer. This should be for Immortals. There's the Temple Archives. It should be for Archon production as well. This time, this tech is much faster. This time, it's at a reasonable time here compared to what we saw in game number 2.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But we have another link run by Adept Fair Base. This time the oracles are in place, though. There is that adept protecting the drones as well. The probes as well. And yeah, it looks like we're gonna wait for another wave.
Yeah, here we go. Reinforcements have arrived. We have a wave of Lings on the way, and Elazer wants to try to bust into this natural. We do force the activation of the Pulsar Beam, but we have plenty of Lings to work with here. Do we have enough to defend? We'll see, as Krystianer does warp it defensively.
Yeah, that he does, but those are High Templars, and they will be quickly transformed into Archons, which definitely will be useful against those Lings, and I assume there will be a lot more of those coming.
Yeah, here we go. The Mass Ling has arrived. We dive in, we dip in towards the natural. Likewise, we head towards the third base. But there's that Archon in position. We do focus on a couple of probes. 4 probes do fall. Not a bad pick off there from Elazer.
Yeah, considering how well defended these bases are, like 4 probes is still pretty nice. And there's still more Lings waiting for the turn.
Yeah, and Elazer taking a very aggressive approach here. He has not droned up. He has not droned up his 4th base. He's cutting workers at 3 base saturation. Roaches are amassing. Plus 1 range on the way. Roach speed as well. Elazer, he wants to push.
I mean, I guess that there's not a lot of army from Krystianer this time. Like, he doesn't have that mass of Immortals yet. Like, he is working on it, but they're not quite ready. So this may actually catch Krystianer at a bad moment.
Very important revelation here, as the Ravagers are not quite revealed. We can see Elazer intentionally pulling back his queens, but here comes the mass army. There we go. Cannon shield batteries on the way. Krystianer now realizes what's going on, but is it too late?
This will be very close. I mean, the Oracles are already working on Ravagers, which is definitely nice, but there's quite a few of them in the army.
Yeah, there's a lot of Ravagers amassing. A little Baal's going to be available as well. Storm, we need a couple more seconds. We're making 2 Immortals at a time. Already 2, soon to be 4.
Yeah, they're about to pop out of these forward robos, but the Zerg surround is pretty rough. There are no shield batteries in range of these Immortals, but yeah, we'll see. This army is not really looking good.
Yeah, so far, a beautiful storm here on these Lings. Storm is now done, and we have 2 more storms available. Massive storm here on the Ravagers, and the Massive Mortal is going to be able to knock this down. Krystianer, he is holding.
Yeah, the storm finished just in time. The Immortals popped out right at the right moment, and it looks like Krystianer will be able to fend off this attack. And I mean, as you said, like this very dedicated push from Elazer is not really doing much.
I mean, he's still committed. Elazer,
Yeah.
he's still making 13 more roaches. He is not droning whatsoever. We're getting ready for the second wave for the second push. Krystianer has survived for now, but ooh, he's supply blocked. Now is not the
No.
time.
Yeah, that is definitely not the time to be supply blocked. I mean, these oracles are helping a lot, keeping Elazer on his side of the map, but there's still a lot more roaches coming, and he needs those Immortals out.
He does need those immortals. The Wiles will not be connected. We do see Elazer rallying across the map here with Mass Roach. Again, Elazer has still refused to drone, still stuck on 65 workers. Krystianer does have the better economy. Once again, another supply block. 5 more pylons on the way. This is still not the time as we do counteract. We do rotate around behind the army, slipping into the natural.
Yeah, the roaches go straight into the natural, avoid the main army completely as it was a bit distracted. Another small part of Elazer's army will be trying to deal damage to this third base, and now Krystianer has to split, and yeah, this will be very rough to calculate.
It is going to be really rough here. Roaches, they're in the main base. They're in the natural. Big storm here at the natural base. Meanwhile, we warp in defensive. We had a defensive cannon in the main as well. Elazer, with this massive Roach counterattack, he gets almost nothing done.
True. Once again, Krystianer was prepared with the static defense, and the natural attack has gotten cleaned up as well. The third base seems to be fine. Like he left just enough army to fend off the attack, and Elazer is preparing wave after wave, but Krystianer is just fending him off.
Yeah, this is looking more and more dire for Elazer. Biles not quite going to be connected. We do see a secondary army pushing in once again towards our natural. This time we're in position. We have Immortals. We have Storms available as well. Krystianer is ready for this. We do see Elazer going for a surround.
Yeah, Krystianer has to be careful not to get surrounded there, but he moves back to the position. The shield battery is out of energy, so we will need an overcharge if we want to use it, but I don't know if we even need it.
Yeah, we don't even need the overcharge. GG gets called. The all-in has failed, and Krystianer will take a lead.
GG, a really strong play there from Krystianer. Like, very defensive play, but I mean, very solid.
GG, well played. Very nicely done here by Krystianer. Again, fun fact, that cannon in the main, I'm pretty sure that was in position for the Ling drop. I don't know if you remember, but earlier
true.
tonight, we had Elazer go for a similar all-in, where he went for a Ling drop into the main and a Ling drop into the natural. That has been a very trendy build as of late, and I'm pretty sure Krystianer was expecting that, so that's why there was a cannon in the main, and there was no Ling drop. Didn't really work out too well initially, but thankfully, when the Roaches came in, it was there to defend, it was there to hold on. Did work out quite well for Krystianer.
Yeah, it's really nice there. I mean, Krystianer showed that like he's willing to put the defense there. Like, it helped versus Mutas previously. It helped versus the Roach round by now. Like, he's been very solid defensively.
Oh yeah, he really has been, and Elazer gets punished for testing that defense of Krystianer. With that, Krystianer takes a lead, but as a reminder, it's still best of 7. Still best of 7, still plenty of games ahead of us. I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of a back and forth here, but this is going to be a wild one. We're loading into one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool, Dynasty. Here we go. We are loading in. Again, there's plenty to talk about when it comes to this map, but for now, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Dynasty, we have our blue Polish Protoss player leading the series 2-1, looking to extend that lead. Representing Starlight Twinkle, it is Krystianer.
And in the bottom left corner of Dynasty, we have the red Zerg player representing Team Wicked and currently down in the series. It is Elazer.
I hope you played the fanfare.
Beautiful intro. Perfect. A+.
Elazer, he tried to go for the gold. The gold was denied, by the way, as Krystianer was in position. I was about to say that it is very common nowadays, if we ever see a ZvP on Dynasty, for the Zerg player to rush into this gold on this side of the wall, to rush into the rich testing gas geyser to make sure he takes control of the gold base and to go for an all-in. But already, Krystianer denies that.
Krystianer just knows. Just knows.
Yeah.
He has seen through a laser. He knows exactly what he's gonna go for.
That's the problem, is that taking the goal base here is so common nowadays. It happens almost every single ZvP, just because this map is usually vetoed, and the only reason why it's here is because it's the best of 7, so we have limited vetoes available. And yeah, Elazer just playing a little bit too obvious and is forced into a more natural expansion, and Krystianer can take advantage of the gold.
Oh yeah, that he will, and you know he has that safe base ready, safe from any link ground buys early on, and he will keep this probe here as well, just to make sure that Elazer is not trying anything else.
I see in the chat, my life isn't complete without the horn. Watching Dallas, I played it in my head. I do the same thing. Fun fact:
Same.
whenever I watch like GSL, whenever I watch DreamHack, whenever I watch another StarCraft stream, and they introduce the players, it feels wrong to not have the
does.
fanfare. Like it feels like there's something missing in my life whenever there's not a fanfare.
Yeah, I agree. Like we're just so used to it. It just has to be there.
Yeah, it got to the point when I co-stream DreamHack, I opened up casting tool just so I can play the horn whenever they
Nice.
the fanfare whenever they introduce the players.
Oh, on that note, fun fact for the people who are in our Discord server, we actually added the fanfare to the soundboard just so we can use it for occasions like that.
Yeah, there you go. True. So with that, we're going to be settling into our game. We are going to be settling in, and we'll see how this does turn out. Again, Krystianer has a big lead. One of the big reasons why this map is vetoed is because Protoss players can take this gold, and Zerg players can't really punish this too easily.
Yeah, there's not really an easy path into this base, so the Protoss will definitely be taking advantage of these gold minerals, but we'll see how that pays off for him. I mean, Elazer will also have access to it, but as a third base, not as a second, so a bit later than that.
Yeah, so the thing is that Zerg players can't take this as a natural on this side of the wall, just because that first and second adept, they can just shade
Yeah,
in and just
exactly.
deny mining. They can just sit here and just deny mining over and over again, and it's just a brutal position for the Zerg player. That's why Elazer is taken as a third instead. Speaking of, the adepts do shade in, and we don't quite get a lot of drones, but we do deny quite an amount of mining time.
Yeah, there is a lot of money that. Oh, but the drones are coming back a bit too early, almost losing some, but in the end, the adepts shade into the main base, and it looks like they will be picking some off.
Oh my god, 3 drones going to be going down. Can we get a 4th drone? It's close, and we do barely get it with the final shot. 4 drones for 2 adepts. That is a better trade for Krystianer.
Yeah, it was really close as well, and I mean, it's not just the drones, it's also the lost mining time as Elazer was dodging the shots, and now the Oracle is trying to get in, but this one won't find any damage yet.
Yeah, the first Oracle has arrived. I believe we have... Oh, interesting. I was going to say second Oracle. That is not true. We skipped the third and we skipped the second Oracle. We're going very quickly into a Twilight Council and a Robo.
I mean, it worked before, right? Why not just do it even earlier?
Yeah. We are just kind of speed running our way towards that kind of tech. Oh, the Oracle does take some extra hits, and the goal base is getting up and running. We haven't been able to punish it yet. We could try to go for the stasis on the edge, but now we go for the relation. Just keep an eye on things here as the gateway explosion is upon us. And this looks like it might hit a little bit harder. Okay, there we go. Temple Archives now on the way.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like because we know that like Elazer is also pretty good at the defensive early game, I feel like maybe Krystianer thought that, like, you know, he's like focusing less on the early harassment, just focusing on that one strong attack that he's so good at, and it will hit that much faster.
It definitely will, and we spoke about Adepts parking here at the gold minerals, and that's exactly what they do. They don't kill anything, but Elazer can't mine. Elazer, he has to back off, he has to respect these Adepts. I'm loving the stasis trap as well. Ling's going to be coming in from behind. Ling's speed is not quite done yet,
He's
and
baiting.
the stasis is going to be triggered.
Yeah, Elazer spotted it at the last second and was able to split some of the Zerglings, but yeah, Krystianer was clearly baiting him straight into the field.
Yeah, did bait him in. Oracle Pulsar Beam is activated. Lings are going down. They try to go for the surround, but we have more Adepts on the way to reinforce. Actually going to be the Archon.
Yeah, straight going for the Archon. Interesting choice. There's some Zealots as well to help out, and yeah, this will be a bit of a harassment force going for the bases of Elazer here.
Ooh, a bit of an overexpansion. One of these Adepts is going to be going down, but the Archon has arrived. And the goal here, the Zealots help support the Archon. The Archon denies mining. That's a big volley going off. The drone's getting very softened up. Ooh, and thankfully we don't get another shot off it. Up as the Archon is coming back in.
Yeah, there are a lot of queens though, so that Arco also has to be a bit careful about what it's doing. But at the same time, Elazer is counter-attacking with the leagues, and I mean, he's forcing a warp in, but that's not enough.
Yeah, he tries to force the warp in. GG gets called. That's a kill on the 4th base. The link run by does nothing, and Krystianer extends his lead. Is up 3-1. Whew.
That is crazy. Like Krystianer has been playing so good today.
GG. I mean, it was a really rough game, and basically, Elazer, again, the initial plan was to rush into the gold, right? To rush into the gold on the other side. You can see here that a longer macro game on Dynasty is very difficult. It's very difficult. You saw we saw that Elazer, he lost a lot of workers, and he was denied mining. Any kind of mining at that gold base, just could not mine freely, and what can he do from there? He taps out.
Yeah, very unfortunate day for Elazer, but I mean, it's not over yet. It is a best of 7, and we will be loading into next map. It will be Ghost River.
Yeah, and now Krystianer finds himself in a position that he's never quite been in. We spoke earlier about how Krystianer, he's been Elazer before in best of 3s, right? He's been in plenty of times in best of 3s. But in best of 7s, it's a different story. Last time they played, Elazer took it 4-2. Elazer was our original H.4.0.S Galactic Battle champion. But now, Krystianer, for the first time, leads 3-1, is 1 game away from becoming our champion. Best in Poland confirmed.
I mean, this is kind of the championship of Poland, right? I mean, there's no other like major tournament like that at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see if he will be able to get something done with that lead, or maybe that pressure will be a bit too much. But for now, he is leading 3-1. It is our Blue Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Krystianer.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Liquid, down quite heavily in this series. Can we bounce back? Can we extend this series even longer? Personally, I hope so. It is Elazer.
Yeah, I mean, this final hasn't been going for too long, and we're already on match point.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we have been breezing through some of these games. Have been very decisive, very quick. I hope that we can get more of a back and forth mid game. I'm hoping for that, but we'll see. As Elazer does go for a hatch gas pool, standard opener across the map. Krystianer has an option. Oh my god! No shot! Delaying the spawning pool. Calm down.
Yeah, I mean, Krystianer is getting cheeky now. I mean, look, he has all this like power up of like, you know, being in the lead. He's like hyped. It's just going for it.
Look, that he only delayed it by like 2 seconds, but that is annoying. Like Elazer,
it's a mental
being
victory.
forced. It is 100% to being forced to pull a second drone, having the first one delayed, the second one delayed, having to throw down the third spawning pool. That is so frustrating as a player. So hopefully Elazer able to calm down. Likewise, Krystianer has to be very careful. You know, I'm sure there's a smile on his face after doing that, but
there must be like
make sure it doesn't get to you. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because like when you feel too good and like you just start doing this cheeky stuff, like that's when you slip up.
Oh yeah, 100%. Aye. So yeah, Krystianer being a little bit cheeky, but what I was about to get into is that we're loading in to Ghost River. A very small map, very short rush distance from base to base as well. If we were ever to see something like a Glaive Up build or a Glaive Up follow-up, this would be the map for it. For now, it's still a Stargate opener. We'll see if Krystianer deviates away into something different.
I have to say, like, so far, like, there hasn't been much of a deviation from Krystianer. Like, the deviation is basically coming down to, like, how many oracles is he gonna make, but, like, the main composition most of the time is the same.
Yeah, there's been like variations of a charge lot Archon, right? Where we can hit a little bit faster, maybe hit a little bit later, maybe wait for Storm. But as you mentioned, like the overall playstyle is still the same for Krystianer. And I mean, he's finding success, right? Like it's
Yeah.
working out for him so far. Maybe there's no need to be hyper aggressive with Glaive Adepts. Maybe there's no need to shake things up too much. Oh,
Maybe, but for now the Adepts are in the main mineral line. The Zerglings are surrounding them, but 3 drones still fall. Maybe even 4.
oh my god, the Spore is forced out, and can we get one more shot? We can! 4 drones once again for 2 Adepts. A much better trade for Krystianer. A very nice start for him. Same start as the previous game.
Yeah, exactly. And now that first Oracle is coming in, it will see the Zerglings going across the map as well. So that's also a nice bit of information for Krystianer, so he can be ready.
Yep, we do see he's just not quite expanding yet. Interesting. Okay, this is a big moment. He does delay his third. His third is delayed, and we actually throw down the Twilight Council and the Robo before the third Nexus.
Okay, okay. So we're focusing on getting the tech as soon as possible. So once again, it will be some dedicated attack.
And once again, only 1 Oracle. We don't
Yeah.
make the second or the third Oracle, and we're throwing down more gateways. This is going to be a much more committed 2-base play out of Krystianer. He might still expand, or we might just double down and go for a 2-base all-in. Aggression is on the table, though. Krystianer is making use of the map.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know if he's planning to expand. Like, it doesn't look like. I mean, sure, he's moving out with the Adepts, but maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Prism's on the way. I mean, the Prism's on the way to warping across the map. The Probe is getting in position, so again, it looks like we want to expand, but we did prioritize production. We did prioritize tech, of course, first.
Unless this is a fake third.
It could be a fake third. I don't know. No, we're good. Third base has been thrown down and back across the map. We do have a Roach Warren already on the way, so this is around a 4-minute 30 Roach Warren timing. Pretty safe timing here for Elazer, which means he will have Roaches to defend. Meanwhile, the Prism has arrived, and Krystianer is starting off with a bit of harassment. I'm curious, this looks like an Archon drop. Templar Archives is already done. We should be warping in High Templar across the map.
Yeah, just Krystianer just has to find a nice spot for it. As the Zerglings are trying to find the War Prism.
Yeah, again, we're denying any kind of warping across map. Wings are on top of that third base, and we cannot warp in the High Templar. They're so expensive, so crucial. We have to back off, and instead, the High Templar warped in defensively.
Yeah, but it looks like that the War Prism will be able to pick up the Archons eventually. So, I mean, it will be a bit delayed. There are some Roaches already on the way, but it may still do some damage.
Yeah, we can still try to hunt down some Overlords. There we go, the Archons have been revealed. You can see back here, we're building up an early Immortal count. We already have 1, soon to be 2, and even 3 Immortals thereafter for Krystianer. Just trying to apply as much pressure as he can.
Indeed he will on this new base, no less. And there are a few Queens here, there are Roaches, but the base has to be cancelled regardless.
Yeah, the base is cancelled, but a little bit of miscontrol. 1 Archon goes down. That was an expensive loss for Krystianer. Again, he could not lift up that Archon as Zealots were in the Prism instead.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate mistake in micro for Krystianer. I mean, he still gets the base, but that Archon is definitely costly.
Yeah, at the same time, Ling's looking to try to catch... Okay, we're trying to catch
Yeah,
the
it was
Immortal.
so
We do trigger the
close.
shields, but there is an Oracle to defend, thankfully. Meanwhile, the Archon drop continues, but this time only 1 Archon. So this Overlord is not under too much of a threat, but it's going to go down.
It doesn't quite. Well, I guess it does supply blockade, so just barely. And it will delay the Roaches definitely, as Roaches do take a lot of supply.
They do take a lot of supply. Ling's coming for a counterattack. Oh, nothing quite in position. Probes are going down, so a nice little run by Elazer. Only gets 3 probes, but good damage nonetheless.
Yes, nice little bit of damage. At the same time, Krystianer is still trying to get some damage done across the map. He has that Oracle here. I believe that a Warp is still across the map, and I mean, 2 drones fall down, but nothing major.
Yeah, like a bit of a give and take here between our players. Elazer's 4th was cancelled. That's maybe the most substantial thing that has happened when it comes to harassment here, just because it's so delayed and so late. And Krystianer is still being so active, being a little bit risky, diving very deep into enemy territory. Gets a couple of volleys off, but he has to be very careful with this Prism. Doesn't want to lose it.
Yeah, not gonna lie, this is terrifying with so many queens around, but like it looks like this Archons is enough to deal with one of them. Ooh, actually loses it.
Yeah, the Archon goes down. This was not worth it. Losing both Archons. Very expensive losses here for Krystianer. And Elazer, finally something going his way here in the early game.
Yeah, definitely. And now Elazer is pretty safe. He can get back to, you know, what he was trying to get. Try to get more bases, more economy, going to Hive, getting his tech, getting his lurkers. And then, once again, it will be difficult for Krystianer.
Yeah, we're working on that lurker tech at the same time. Prism has arrived, gets eyes on the would-be 5th. We could try and force a cancel on this 5th base. And there we go. Krystianer does take note of it. But we'll see if he's going to be able to get much more done here. He's still building up Immortals back at home. Does dive on the base. It looks like, oh, we do trigger that Stasis Trap.
Yeah, so the base will not be cancelled. The Zealous will be dealt with. The Warpmist has to escape, and it's still very low on health. It has those shields, but now with Hydras around, it's very risky.
Yeah, the Hydras have been spotted, but the Prism is so low from earlier from that Queen defense, so we have to be very careful with that Warp Prism. Again, we can assume that Lurker production is going to be commencing here for Elazer. The Prism up! Oh my god.
It leaves. Just barely. It leaves.
Barely does survive. At the same time, Krystianer going to be moving out. So is Elazer. Do we commit to the base trade? It looks like we are. We're committing here. We're pushing out across the map, but we have 4 Immortals to defend.
Yeah, that is a lot of Immortals there. But oh, at the same time, we have that base cancelled, so very nicely done for Krystianer. He's trapping the Hydras as well.
Oh, yeah, Storm's catching some of the Hydras, but who catches who? Because here comes a mass surround, and Krystianer, there's no way out of this.
I mean, there's no way out unless you just walk away with the Immortals, as they are dishing out a lot of damage on this Egg army.
It did cost us all the High Templar.
True.
Every High Templar did go down, but the Immortals have barely survived, but we need more support. We need some Zealots here as another Immortal gets picked up.
Yeah, those Immortals are getting a bit low, and that is a bit risky, but at the same time we have a Zealot round by also nice little bit of damage.
Yeah, in the end, Elazer took a better trade, and now here come the Lurker production. Now, thankfully, the Immortal Cannon has been preserved, but we do need to buy time here for the NG on these High Templar, on the Storm. 7 Lurkers on the way. Elazer is maxed out, and Elazer is pushing.
Yeah, Krystianer is on the timer. This army of the Zerg is getting ready for a big surround, and I don't know if Krystianer has enough to split this army.
Yeah, we'll see if he can as we are pushing on the right-hand side. Once again, we have Immortals getting caught out. They need some support. Immortals are going down one after the other. Lurkers have sieged up. We do have a couple of Storms, but already a good start for Elazer.
Yeah, the Storms are not enough to defeat this army, but now we have reinforcement, but it's just not enough. Elazer takes another point.
GG, well played. Elazer is going to be fighting back in this series. It was a shaky early game for Krystianer. Again, he lost his Archons. He overextended with some of his army as well. Like, it was a bit of a shaky mid-game for Krystianer.
Yeah, very unfortunate there, especially after previous games, like where he was just playing so well, like everything was so crisp, and like this game, it just didn't quite go according to his plan. Maybe it was like that overconfidence. Maybe he was a bit too bold. I mean, he did fly that Warpriest straight into the enemy territory.
Yeah. It's very possible here, very possible as we are getting ready for our next game. Krystianer still has a lead, but if Elazer wins this game, we could see an ace match. We could go all the way to game 7.
We definitely could. So I guess a lot will depend on what we see this game.
We shall see as we are settling in. Again, our next game is going to be on Alkyone, one of the more standard maps in the map pool. We had a really chaotic couple of games on Dynasty, on Ghost River, but now we're calming things down with a much larger, more macro map. And here we go. Again, Elazer needs to win this game to force the ace match. Meanwhile, Krystianer is still on match point. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have our Polish Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Team Liquid, fighting back, putting a point on the board, and one step closer to forcing that ace match. It is Elazer.
And across the map, we have our blue Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle, and still on match point. It is Krystianer.
Krystianer so quick to send out his probe and block the gold base. As we can see, Elazer is not going for the gold. He's going for much more standard base timing, but Krystianer just a little bit paranoid, wants to make sure that Elazer isn't too cheeky on him.
Or do you think this was a mind game? Do you think Krystianer expected Elazer to go for the goal, and Elazer's like, you know what? You do this every time. I'm just not gonna do it.
I mean, it happened earlier in this series. It happened on Dynasty, if you remember. So, yeah, Elazer, this time he doesn't fall for it. This time just going for a much more standard base location, and Krystianer will confirm.
Yeah, he does confirm with that probe. He will scout the main base as well, so he is sure that nothing cheeky is going on. He's not able to block that spawning pool this time.
Yeah, this time it's thrown down at a much more standard timing, standard location. So, yeah, just a hatch gas pool here from Elazer. Meanwhile, Krystianer just going for his gate expand into Cybercore. Because we're loading into a larger map, I don't expect Krystianer to skip the second Oracle this time. Again, it was just a way to be a little bit more active earlier on some of these smaller maps. On a larger one, not sure if that's the direction we want to be taking this.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, 2 oracles are always nice to have. The third one we will see, but 2 oracles are always nice for harassment, as are the 2 adepts that are usually coming together.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Krystianer be a little bit more comfortable in this game. It's going to be a little bit less tense as well. Like, the scary thing about Ghost River is because if a fight goes a little bit poorly, very quickly your opponent will push and counterattack and be in your bases already. So you have very little time to react. A little bit more time here on Alcyone, especially with the Zelnaga. You have control of it. You can spot any kind of move out that much faster.
Yeah, definitely. But for now, we will just be gearing up for the game. That Stargate is halfway done. The probe is still going around, trying to get as much information as it can while being chased.
Yeah, is able to confirm the third base, backs off or is forced back by those Lings. Adept has arrived, and as you mentioned, it's going to be a Stargate opener into Oracle. Again, we haven't really deviated too much from this. It's always been a Stargate first, always at least been one Oracle. So Krystianer, he just does stick with it, and is going to be getting into the early game.
At least he confirms once again that third base with the adept. He checks on the natural as well, and for now he just has to wait for the reinforcements.
He's racing back home. He keeps the second adept at home as well, so we're taking a more defensive stance this time, as the first Oracle is now in production. Interesting. That is a Twilight Council before the third base.
Yeah, so similarly to previous game, we're focusing on the tech before we go for the third base. Maybe once again we will try some aggression. I just hope it goes I hope it doesn't dive as much as he did last game.
This looks like Glaives. This
Okay.
looks like Glaive Adepts
True.
for the first time this series. There's no Forge, there's no Robo, there's no further tech here. This could either be Glaives, it could even be Blink. There's a hero build where he rushes into Blink very quickly and turns it into an 8-gate all-in. So I'm curious which one it's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. It would be interesting to see a completely different build from Krystianer this time, and
There
it
it
is
is.
Glaives indeed.
Unfortunately for Krystianer, we scout. Elazer, he dives into the main base. There is nothing to deny the scout. There is no Stalker in position. This is a big moment for Elazer, and we should be throwing down a much earlier Roach Warren.
We'll see if that is the direction that Elazer wants to go. I mean, he did scout what's happening, and yes, the Roach Warren is now down, but at the same time, the drones are being chased around by the Oracle.
Yeah, 2 drone kills is pretty good, but this is a 4-minute 20 Roach Warren timing. Nice. It is far faster. It is designed to keep us safe against those Glaive Adepts, and I mean, he's seen everything. The chances of this doing damage is that much lower. Krystianer took a risk, but he just was unable to deny the scout.
420 is not nice. Wrong number.
What is it? What is it?
I don't know. Praise the sun.
Explain. But here we go. We do have our Adepts shading in behind the mineral line. Not a bad position here for Krystianer. Getting a little bit trapped on the Queen, but drones are getting picked up.
Yeah, they are, and this Queen is even in danger. With this many adepts, it may be going down, or at least a lot of transfusers have to be wasted on it.
Yeah, 4 drones go down for now. We have additional Adepts heading towards that third base. Lings are amassing. Roaches are on the way. Glaive's not yet kicking in. And we even shade in towards the main base drones. We're losing and bleeding out quite a lot of them.
Yeah, Krystianer has split his adepts quite well. 9 drones are falling down, but now the adepts are starting to get cleaned up and roaches are coming out.
Yeah, with the arrival of these roaches, we should be okay. It's been impressive what Krystianer did, especially considering he did a lot of that even without Glaives. That was 9 drones falling. But now we have a more secure army. We have Lings, we have roaches able to keep up with the movement of Krystianer.
And Krystianer realizes that he moves back. He starts working on his immortals and he will be back with another attack.
Yeah, so Krystianer retreats. I mean, he did a decent amount of damage. He was hoping for more. Again, this was a big investment. The other big thing about this build from Krystianer is because of the Glaive Adepts, we delay the Forge, we delay +1, we delay Charge, we delay Archon production. A lot of tech was delayed here in favor of this, which is why it did need to do a little bit more.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that he didn't quite get there. At the same time, Elazer now has more space. He has defended the Adepts. He has the space to expand to this gold base finally, and he will probably once again go into Lurkers.
Yeah, we have the gold on the way, every gas is being taken, we have the lair finishing up, and this should be, as you mentioned, into an infestation pit, into Hydras, into Lurkers, I imagine. Meanwhile, Krystianer, it looks like he's going for an earlier push. That is a Prism on the way, and we're getting to double road production, no Forge, no upgrades. This looks like the beginning of a 3-base all-in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he didn't get the tech earlier. Might as well just not get it and just focus on the Adepts. He already has them upgraded. He already has the production for the Immortals. Might as well just try what he can do with this.
Yeah, it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing here for Krystianer. A mass amount of Glaive Adepts. We have Immortals as well. And if Elazer droned up too much, he'd be in trouble. But Elazer didn't. He droned up to 67. That's 3-base saturation. He did not overdrone.
Yeah, and more Roaches are on the way, as well as Ravagers. The upgrades are as being worked on as well, so they should be ready soon. But for now, we have all these Adepts around the bases.
Yeah, we do have a lot of Adepts. Meanwhile, back at home, Ling Runby is going to be shut down. Defensive Adepts going to be able to shut that down. Meanwhile, in the natural, we do shade in, and drones are getting picked up.
Yeah, 5-6 drones going down. That's actually a lot of damage for only 2 Adepts, but that's not even the main army. The main army is still at the base of Krystianer.
And we're still not done. We shade into the main, and we focus on even more workers. 10, 11, almost 12 workers going to be going down. And Krystianer does back off. He doesn't commit. After he saw the army, he's like, okay, I want none of that. I cannot break this. I don't want to risk it. And he does end up retreating. And now we expand and take extra gases.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we talked about it before. It's a very, very like wise choice from Krystianer. Like he sees what the army is that he's about to face, and he decides, you know what? I'm not ready to do this.
Yeah, and because he backed off, Elazer's droning. Elazer's droning up. Elazer's saturating his bases here. I mean, he has to drone up to make up for his losses. He's lost a lot of workers, which means now would not be a bad time to move out. And here we go. Krystianer is coming back in, this time with a stronger force.
Yeah, there's definitely a formidable force, but there are also a lot of Roaches and Ravagers to face it, and we see just how they can do so.
Yeah, Krystianer has spotted the main army. He has to be very careful with how he engages. We have more reinforcements on the way. More Adepts coming in as well. Biles will not be connecting. And we zone away the army. We go for the gold. We deny any kind of mining there.
Yeah, no mining at that gold base, and the Biles still not connecting. Nice dodges there from Krystianer, and he just marches forward. The army of Elazer is a bit split.
Yeah, he's just brute forcing his way through. Again, the army has to give way to the massive Immortal. How many Immortals do we have? We have 8 Immortals with this army. Roaches, how do they deal with this?
Oh, the Adepts, they're covering the Roaches. They go right on top of them and just go to town.
Yeah, we shade on top of the Roaches. Boys are being pulled on top of the Immortals. Not a bad moment here for Elazer with that surround. Adepts are falling one after the other, but the Immortal army is breaking through. We clean up every single drone, and now we're going ham on the Roaches.
Yeah, the Warp is helps save the wounded Immortals as well. There are still some Adepts left over, and yeah, the army of Elazer is going down.
GG gets called. Krystianer, he has far too much. He overwhelms, goes for the 3-base all-in, and Krystianer will be the H.4.0.S Galactic Battle #2 champion.
GG. That was really nicely done by Krystianer. He actually takes down Elazer in this finals in a best of 7, and he is the champion of the entire tournament.
GG, well played. We have a new champion here. Elazer was the reigning champion. He was the original H.4.0.S Galactic Battle winner here, but alas, now it is a new era. It's the era of Protoss. Krystianer not just beating Elazer once, beating him twice in the same tournament.
Yeah, really nicely done there by Krystianer. I mean, again, it was looking pretty good for Elazer, but in the end, like, Krystianer just picked the right moment when to back off, the right moment when to attack, and he was able to just take over the army.
Yeah, Yeah, really impressive stuff, especially in that final game, right? I think that really does showcase that quite well. The fact that Krystianer initially his glaive adepts were scouted, so I was doubting how much damage it would get done. They got 9 drone kills, which was pretty impressive. Despite being scouted, we saw that Krystianer was able to hit before too many roaches really did amass. And when it came to the follow-up Immortal All-In, he did respect the army of Elazer quite a lot there. He understood that he couldn't quite break him, but he was able to sneak in with some adepts. If you remember, that was when the 2 adepts went to town and got 11 drone kills as well. So really nice attention to detail there by Krystianer.
Yeah, that was also really good. Elazer was so focused on the front that like he just let those 2 adepts slip by, and they took so much damage. Or did damage, I guess.
Yeah, the economy was so crippled, and sure, Elazer was taking the gold as his 4th, but if you remember, because of the position of that gold base, when Krystianer pushed in, as he was pushing, he was also denying mining. He was also killing workers and denying that gold base entirely. So really, Elazer got knocked down to a 3-base economy, and because he was so committed to roaches, he was not ready for the mass immortal. That was 8 immortals with that 3-base all in. That was an insane immortal count, and against mass roach, it was ideal.
Yeah, and I mean, the adepts did pretty well in that army as well. Like, they were there to support the immortals. Like, he just shaded right on top of that entire roach army. Like, that was a beautiful ending to that game.
100%. He was able to lock down that army, lock it down, and there was a decent moment when Elazer pulled the boys, because ideally you have the adepts protecting the immortals, but they came in from behind, they got on top of the immortals, they were helping a little bit, but by that point it was too late. It was too little, too late. Krystianer did snowball out of control, and we have a new champion. We have a new best player in Poland? Question mark? I mean, I know that Spirit wasn't here, but Krystianer beat Spirit last time. Just saying.
Yeah,
he did beat him last time, so just because Spirit wasn't here doesn't mean that Spirit could have stopped it from happening.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, crazy result for Krystianer as well. Like, he's been getting better and better lately, and clearly he's ready to take the best.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, really, we saw this coming ahead of time. Do you know who is the Sparkling Tuna?
True.
Do you know, we've been hosting this event for so long, and the player with the most Sparkling Tuna Cup championships is Krystianer. This year, he's been winning. He's won the majority of these tournaments, of our weekly tournaments, and I mean, he's been popping up.
We may be laughing like, oh, it's our tournaments, but like, those are weekly tournaments, so that the tournaments that those players play regularly, and you can really like compare them to like the other regular competitors, and you can see them like just getting better and better week by week, and you see that progression, and clearly Krystianer is currently on the rise, and he is getting there.
Yeah, because he's been active in our online tournaments, we've seen his rise coming ahead of time, and bringing down Elazer here is impressive. Is again something that I was still favoring Elazer coming into the series as well, but I believe that we could force a back and forth. For Krystianer to win here is still very impressive, and yeah, GG, well played. Krystianer has been improving a lot recently, and to bring down players like Wayne and bring down players like Raynor and Elazer, his PvZ is becoming terrifying.
Oh, definitely. And I guess we may be seeing more of him in the major tournaments soon enough.
Yeah, definitely. We're still waiting for that to be reflected in events like DreamHack, right? In the DreamHack regionals as well. But Krystianer has definitely been on the rise, and is definitely a player to keep an eye on when it comes to these other big major events. We for a long time, I always said that the thing with Krystianer is we have to wait for him to be consistent, right? He's been taking down and taking names and taking maps all year. All year this has been happening, but for him to perform this well at this event, this could be the beginning. This could be a sign here that maybe he's reached that level where he can more and more consistently take down some of the best in Europe and some of the best in the world.
I definitely wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Like, that could very well be like the stepping stone, like, you know, to greater highs.
Yeah, definitely could be. Only time will tell, and again, we're going to be keeping an eye on him. Speaking of Sparkling Tuna Cup, we do have a Sparkling Tuna Cup tomorrow. For those that are curious, what the hell are they talking about? It's a weekly online tournament that we host here on the CranKy Ducklings. Krystianer is a regular, Nightmare, Geralt, Wayne, Nicaract, a lot of these big names are regulars in that tournament, and they should be facing off tomorrow in...
I mean, I don't know if Krystianer will,
14. We'll see. Yeah, true.
He'll
He's probably
probably be
gonna be
celebrating.
hungover. he's probably gonna spend the night partying. Not gonna lie, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, which
He
is
may
fair
have a
enough
while,
after winning the entire tournament.
and also as well, we have had hungover players compete in our tournaments before, so
True.
it might not stop him. It might not stop him. Just saying. It's happened before. Shaking my head. But with that, GG, well played. A big win for Krystianer. My condolences to Elazer. It was impressive for him to make it to the finals once again, but this time he will not be a back-to-back champion. And it looks like we have some words from Dansky.
Let's go.
Zapraszamy na scenę miejsce numer 3, Geralt. Jeszcze tam masz nagrody. Nagrody w imieniu sponsorów wręcza menadżer Piotrek. Brawo! Dzięki bardzo. Oczywiście w imieniu firmy Infolet wręcza przedstawicielka Martyna. Teraz zapraszam miejsce numer 2, niespodziewane. Elazer, zapraszamy. Ogromne brawa. Dziękujemy bardzo. No i tak, można powiedzieć, że klątwa drugiego lana spotkała Elazera. W poprzednim wygrał 4-2, teraz przegrał 2-4. No i zapraszamy zwycięzcę, Krystianer Szczęsny, Krystian! Gratuluję, stary. No, let's go! I daj do góry. Brawo! Krystianer! No i oczywiście wielkie podziękowania dla casterów, których tu nie ma, ale wszyscy ich słyszeli, przepraszam. Z! Ty mówisz, ja będę mówił Z! Dziękujemy bardzo. Dziękujemy również menadżerowi Piotrkowi Baru Chaos za udostępnienie lokalu i tak fantastyczną atmosferę. I oczywiście ogromne dzięki dla was, którzy tutaj jesteście, stworzyliście tą atmosferę. Dziękuję wam bardzo. Bardzo mocno. O. Dziękuję. Dziękuję bardzo, dzięki. W imieniu swoim i organizatorów, zapraszam was serdecznie na kolejnego lana. 31 sierpnia robimy pożegnanie wakacji razem z StarCraftem. Więc serdecznie zapraszam 31 sierpnia do Chaos Baru na kolejną edycję. Chodźcie wszyscy do zdjęcia grupowego.
And congratulations. Congratulations to our top 3 competitors here, to Geralt, to Elazer, and to Krystianer as well. Shout out to Kura, of course, Kura, for giving us some rough translations in the chat as to what was being said. And apparently, they have just announced the next LAN in only a couple of months. The last LAN was in January. Here we are in June. And now, in August, we have another LAN.
Yeah, the Danskik exactly called it the what is it called? The goodbye to summer with StarCraft.
Raz, halo,
There
halo.
you go.
Oh, hold on, it's
Mam
back.
ogromną prośbę, jeszcze troszeczkę w tamtą stronę się cofniemy, mała zmiana planów, to jest żywioł.
Oh, never mind, they're just arranging the photo.
Fair enough. Yeah, for those wondering, they're taking a big audience photo, or a group photo with like the competitors and the audience and the people. So they're taking a photo off screen.
Why is
I
it
guess.
not on stream?
It should be on stream.
It should be on
I
stream.
just shaking my head. But yeah, apparently there's another one at the very end of August, which feels a little bit soon. It does mean that we're gonna have less House Open Cups to seed players.
mean-
So that means that every House Open Cup is gonna be a little bit more important than the last.
To be fair, I mean, he didn't announce if it would be the same system as this house tournaments. It's
True,
like, because for these tournaments you had like the open cups leading up to it, but maybe this will be just like more of a separate LAN event kind of thing, or maybe something else entirely, maybe like a qualifiers, like who knows.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on the format for that tournament, as it looks like the stream has gone offline.
just cut the stream.
They just
done.
cut the stream. But again, congratulations, Krystianer. A momentous occasion for him. A big win for Krystianer. He has been on the rise for the entire year, winning online tournament after online tournament, finally getting a big win offline, claiming the #1 spot in all of Poland. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of doubters out there that are going to be saying, what about Spirit, right?
Mhm.
Spirit was not here. Spirit was busy elsewhere. It was his mother's birthday. He was out celebrating with his family. Unfortunately, he could not take part in this event. And maybe that's why the next LAN is so soon. Maybe we're going to put that doubt to
Oh.
rest. We're going to be coming into that, and I'm sure they're going to be making sure that Spirit will be there alongside Elazer, alongside Geralt, alongside Krystianer to do this all again, to make sure everyone is there to determine and confirm the best in Poland.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, previous LAN, like, Elazer has beaten Krystianer, also in the rematch, so it was also close. And this time, Krystianer was able to overpower him, so, like, who knows what happens next time if he faces Spirit.
Yeah. You know, maybe we get full balance, right? In the first one of the year, we had Elazer. Second one, Krystianer. Maybe Terran. Maybe we get a Terran champion with Spirit instead, and we get one of each race for the year
That's
of
also
2024. It's possible. Or Geralt could come out of left field. Papi could come out of left field as well and win roll
Imagine
instead.
Papi just swipes everyone.
Yeah. Look, I'm not ruling it out.
Look, no,
Regardless.
actually, it's gonna be Rodzin, because nobody would expect it.
There, Rodzin gonna come out. So Stockstar is gonna cheese the hell out of everyone, and he's gonna be the champion. It's possible.
That would be fun.
Regardless, hope you all enjoyed yourselves in the chat. Of course, we will be there for the next Galactic Battle. As it was mentioned, it will be in August, so we're going to be there to bring it to you live here in the English language. So if you enjoyed the casting, if you want some more StarCraft content, then consider following us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. Follow us on Twitch as well. We are live every single day with StarCraft content. But we missed out on something today. There was a
We did.
tournament a couple of hours ago, World Team League. World Team League was live, and we did miss it because we casted this all day. It was Jesus, how many hours? 12 hours. Yeah, we made it.
There you
Or just under 12 hours we've been live here on the channel. We did cut the stream halfway through, but 12-hour cast nonetheless. And we missed out on WTL because it
Mhm.
was happening at the same time. So we will be catching up. We're going to be catching up with World Team League in a couple of days. And day 3 of World Team League is tomorrow. We will be casting that live. We'll be casting World Team League live tomorrow. We're also going to be casting Sparkling Tuna Cup live tomorrow as well in how many hours? Like 13 hours-ish?
Mm.
13-ish hours? 12 and a half?
Yeah, like 12 and a half.
Yeah, okay. Mark your calendars. 12 and a half hours time. We're going to be live here once again with Sparkling Tuna Cup. If Krystianer is there, there's a high chance he's going to be hungover.
Oh my god.
So if you want to see some Krystianer hungover gameplay, we got you covered in the Sparkling Tuna Cup.
Yeah, and if
There you
you
go.
want to take part in Sparkling Tuna Cup, as a reminder, this is a weekly tournament open to everyone. So no matter what your level is, you can participate. You can try your best, and I mean, who knows? You may just get the random participant prize, which is $5 for just someone who signs up and plays their series.
Yeah, a lot of benefits there if you want to tune in to Sparkling Tuna Cup tomorrow. Again, World Team League is going to be right after Sparkling Tuna Cup, so back-to-back broadcasts, 2 events in a row. We have ESL Open Cup Asia on Monday, we have ESL Open Cup Americas on Tuesday, we have the KSL replay cast, we got the WTL replay cast, we got we got Home Story Cup in 2 weeks. Again, big events going on, a lot of StarCraft all around the channel. So again, consider following to keep up to date with that. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Kuro, thank you for joining me. I know you haven't been casting too much recently, but thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I have been casting a little bit more lately, as I did cast amateur tournaments, but it's been a while since I've been on the cast for a Polish tournament, so it was good to see how the community is doing.
Yeah, it's not a Polski tournament without the Polski caster.
Yeah.
As with that, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. Shout out to Kashim, shout out to Indy, shout out to Zed, shout out to Danskik, shout out to all the people that made this event happen as well. The VODs are instantly available over on YouTube if you're interested. VODs are on YouTube, VODs are on Twitch. You can check them out. Kuro, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night? It is 6:30 a.m. in the morning here.
Okay. Very, very quick PSA. If there are Polish people in the chat, tomorrow we vote. That's all.
There you go. There you go. Make sure you get that voting in if you're in Poland. Otherwise, thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for the support. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Sparkling Tuna Cup. Until then, gracias, hasta luego, siema. We'll see you next time.
Bye.